Hi.
So, what we're going to do is talk about more ways not to make money online.
I've got an endless amount. Who was I talking to? I think a friend today saying I'd probably run out, and she was like, "No, I don't think you're ever going to run out of ways you've lost money online." I'm like, "It's true. There's always a new one every day."
There really, really is. I've seen so many people, and they're not even sure what the guru is presenting to them. But they know the guru has made a lot of money, so it's got to be right. I
Yeah.
mean, even when you go to seminars now, I actually stand at the end of the seminar between the back room where everybody's selling these courses and the herds of people running to buy these courses just to interfere with their mindset for a bit because they've just had about an hour and a half of NLP and hypnosis plummeted at them. And they are almost like zombies saying, I have to buy this or I will not be successful. And they do NLP and hypnosis, and they're very good at it right now. Very good at it. A lot of Tony Robbins followers and coaches and counselors that have been, graduated, they know NLP upside down and backwards, and they know hypnosis upside down and backwards. So when you get to one of these seminars, you will more than likely be a subject of hypnosis to buy their products. And once you buy the products, it will sit on your shelf and never be opened, but it will give you the feeling that you've actually done something, which is insane. But, it even works on me. And I know this stuff. And I find myself wanting to buy that product and just walking out of the room and walking outside and just saying, I can probably find this stuff online.
Yeah. Okay, so I just Googled NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, a pseudoscientific approach to communication, personal development, and psychotherapy created by Richard Bandler and John Grider in California in the 70s. Okay, so it's the way they're talking to you. Yeah, well, there's a woman, was it Amy Porterfield, I think? I was listening to her podcast for a while, months ago, and what does she teach? She specializes in building online courses, so she sells a course on how to build courses. Um, and I think even she admitted on her show, she's like, listen, if you Google this stuff and you could find it all online. It's all out there. It's just, what you're paying her for is to save the time and have somebody who's done it sort of distill it and tell you what's best and whatever. So I mean, maybe that's with a lot of this stuff. Like you could spend 20 years trying to figure it out on your own, or you could buy their course. So I guess that's valid, but yeah, it's also whether the information is useful. Like you're saying, like all these people who worked hard for decades and built their businesses, maybe there isn't a way to reproduce that without doing that thing. There's no shortcut. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very, very hard to, create a multi-million dollar real estate company or people in the real estate field that have that are working with that probably would be doing it. So you've got to throw some common sense at it and just step back and really really think and anything that you get involved in to make money you really need to throw 100% in, and that's where you've got to, if you're going to do that, you really have to align what you like doing, what your talents are, to reflect the revenue stream. And if you feel comfortable and focused on that with probably an edge of helping people out, um, then you got it made, which is, this conversation you and I are having about, how not to make money is actually going to help people out, because what we'll end up doing is you know, breaking down, the costs for people. So you're going to spend $3,000 on this course to do this. So let's break this down. How much money do you have to earn just to get break even? So we'll just talk about a break even point, right?
Right.
So if we just do that, that's going to help people. I mean, even if we talk about people that get, website platforms, they get the website platform. Now they have to figure out, how to do it, or get a webmaster to do it. So a webmaster costs maybe $60 an hour. Um, and then you've got a website. Now you're telling a website master what to do, but you don't even know, your end game. Most people don't know what their end game is in how to generate revenue. So now they're paying. I mean, I just had this one guy that paid somebody $3,000 to build a motorcycle website. And I said,
Mm.
nice motorcycle website. How do you make money? He says, well, I'm just, giving out this information to people. Well, and giving out money too, from what I can tell,
Yeah.
you know?
Very
So you have,
generous.
yeah, a motorcycle website that costs you $3,000. You don't know how you're making money from it, but you're just going to keep paying for the hosting fee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I hired a girl who built builds websites. I guess a few years ago, I was like, okay, I need to build my JoshRackless.com, and I paid her a bit, and then I realized I don't know, it didn't look like what I thought it would. I'm like, I don't even know if she knows what she's doing, so I just sort of cut it off, and then I didn't have a website for a while. I just started doing WordPress my own, but I've had my blog. Um, for years and years, and it doesn't make any money, and I'm not even sure what the point is. Like when I started the blog spot years ago, that my joke was like my tagline for the website was I just post this uh, for people who care about my life, and basically that's just my mom, or this is just for my mom to see what I'm up to. That was before Facebook, so I needed a place where my mom could read what I was up to. Um, but uh, but yeah, it's not really a joke. Like nobody really cares. So I mean, for my website, yeah, first of all, I'd love to come up with a topic that people might want to actually look up. Like my old idea for my website was when somebody stole JoshRackless.com for a few years and was holding it hostage. I got JoshRackless.today, and I was like, okay, so that's what it is. This is just what Josh is up to today, which nobody really cared about. Even if I was super famous, they probably wouldn't care about. And then even if they were caring, I don't know how I would have made money from it. And it's like you say, it is about aligning your interests with a way to make money, because we were just talking, I guess that was our previous episode a few minutes ago, about how I did a call with a stock trading uh, company that I would pay $6,500 US to spend a year spending 3 hours a day at least learning these courses, and maybe it would make money. But the problem is it's a year of my life, and it's not really my passion. It's not my best use of my skills. Like stock trading, I guess it's math and research and all this. But my gift to the world is my humor, that I'm able to be funny, and I'm also able to be empathetic and listen to people and talk to celebrities or regular people in the same great way. So it'd be great if I could monetize that in a way, because then every day I would get up and feel like I'm working towards my purpose, and also hopefully making money from it, not spending a year thinking, okay, maybe I can learn to trade stocks, and then in 10 years I'll make a few $1,000s from it or something. So it's a
Hmm.
combination of what are you spending your money and your time on. You know?
So on that, and let me just talk to you about blogs and interviewing people for an example, because I get a lot of people with, I mean, bloggers are the poorest people on the planet
Yeah.
because they spend a lot of time creating content. Again, they're going directly against the companies that make money online. You do not create your own content, because actually people don't care about your own content. They don't. They care about their content. So let's just pretend that you you have a website and somebody gives you content. You put that content on your website, and then you send that link to that person saying, look at, I've just featured your content. That person will be so excited that Celebrity Josh featured their content that they would probably email it to everybody that they know if you ask them to do that. And then they would go back to the Josh website where their content is, and probably people would enter in more content so that you could feature their content. The key is when they're entering content is just basically saying, hey, by the way, do you want me to send you back leads? Do you have a business? Do you have any reason that you would want to connect with the people that's reading your information? And 40% of the people would say, yeah. And where they wouldn't say yeah is where you could probably send leads to companies that you've already made an arrangement with, your own direct advertisers. So, even interviews, you're interviewing somebody. I don't interview anybody if they don't want business,
Yeah.
because it goes really against the grain. The person that's listening to the interview is getting really excited and needing help for that, but there's no place to go. So they have to go somewhere else, and someone else is making money from giving them the information. So it's, again, insane.
Yeah. So as an example of people sharing things, like a few weeks ago in Ottawa, my dad and I went for breakfast, and then I walked across the street. I was like, "Oh, there's a farmer's market." And then I wandered into a building, and there was something called MILOG, which I don't know what it stands for, but it was the Latin American Women Entrepreneurs of Ottawa Gatineau. And I always have my mic with me and my phone, and I'm just like, "Oh, I'll just interview some people." So I randomly talked to a real estate agent guy that was there, and then I interviewed a woman who was selling plants, like she makes these little soil balls with plants coming out of it and stuff. And yeah, I filmed two, and then I walked past her later. She's like, "Oh my God, I won an award today." So I interviewed her again. And so I posted on Facebook, and then I could see it was shared 18 times. Like, I think by her, she shared it on her own Facebook page and then in other Facebook pages. So it got shared a lot. She loved it. She was really excited about my little interview. Um, so, I mean, that's an example that people would share it. So, but it was just a video I uploaded directly to Facebook. So there's no way for me to monetize that. It would have been, I guess, better to put it on my own, like I put it on YouTube and then put it on my own website and then send her a link, and then she would share that
No,
with
no,
people. I don't know.
no, no, no. What you do is you should have taken that interview, put it on your website, asked her if, you know, if I could, if I send you leads, will you pay me $1 per lead?
Hmm.
And created the lead tracking software that Income Activator gives you. Share, send that link to her so she'd be sharing it, um, and people would see it, and every time they click to get to her, maybe it would cost $1, but
Hmm.
and
Do you
then
think
yeah.
do you think people like that would be interested, like a woman who sells plants, like sort of crafts and plants? Because I know a lot of the people you talk to in your examples are like, I don't know, lawyers would or I don't know, accountants. I don't know what best types of businesses to send leads to would
Okay,
be like.
it's a very simple process. You know, Income Activator, the website platform, has trackable links like Google's pay-per-click ads.
Hmm.
Okay, so trackable links where if you click on it, you can assign whatever, revenue model you want, whether it's, 5 cents or $1 or whatever. And people that have products are best for that because it's a very low end product line
Mm.
and there's not a lot of follow up, buy my junk or not, right?
Right.
So the unique thing about Income Activator's pay per click is that anytime someone clicks on it, they also get an email saying someone from your website just clicked, someone from Josh's website just clicked to your website to look at your product. So you know, they have an awareness saying, oh, okay, thank you, Josh, for sending me someone.
Right.
Um, so the pay-per-click are best for sales, like light sales like that. The referral forms where people put in their name, phone number, email, and request are best for services like, Josh just interviewed you about, you're a chiropractor and you could do this, or you're a hypnotherapist and you can do that. Okay, more fires. Okay.
Wow.
Anyway, so, you know, for services, it's best that way. And every service company, whether it's company like a spa or whatever, they basically know what they pay, you know, Google per click, and they just get the click. So let's say they pay to Google $10 per click. You're giving them actually a name, email, phone number, and a request. So, you could easily double that or even keep it at $10. Doesn't matter because it's information that just keeps running all the time. It's always found online. It's always producing revenue.
And do you think if I wanted to try something like that, should I have a website that's specifically torontospas.com or something like that? So when people come to the site, it's just spa related stuff? Or is there a way for me to, because I randomly interview people at farmers markets, or I interview people, comedians, or I guess for fun, I've just been randomly walking around St. Lawrence Market, or when I go to a small town, I interview local businesses, and it's so I guess it's not really one topic, so it might be harder to sort of build up the clicks and the revenue if it's sort of, what is this? This is just, I'm like Conan O'Brien interviewing people randomly. Uh,
Well, there's different ways of attacking that, and I think we'll get into that a little bit later in a little bit more depth, okay? But to give you the quick answer, if you're basically creating a directory of services and companies, that's all fine. You put that in your directory and you feature it. You feature all those people, make sure that they are paying you for the clicks or the leads. You create their page for them, and then you email it out to them, and you tell them to email it out to their list. And their list may be, 10 people, 100 people, 5,000 people. So then you get traffic to, the Josh directory, and people will want to be part of the Josh directory. But
Right.
you have to do that thing, which is, are you interested in business? Are you interested in click revenue or lead revenue? That's all
Right.
there is to it. If you interview somebody, let's say like Oprah, okay? She's not going to pay you per lead. She doesn't care.
Yeah.
But on the topic that you're interviewing her, maybe a hypnotherapist will want that lead revenue business, and that's part of your, you know, um, list of advertisers that you promote.
Right.
So you can inject that advertiser in her interview on her page.
Right.
So that's how you twist that. Um, and we'll talk a little bit more about, how your focus or your emphasis or your point, to help people is, right now we talked about how you create a directory. Let's get into what is Josh's direction on helping people generally. And I think what we're doing right now is helping people understand that you need to um, understand that it's not that easy to make money online if you are not focused, and just trying out a bunch of things and it doesn't work. And I mean, like, look at what we were talking about, like, for instance, job applications is a perfect example. Let's get into that in a bit. Um, if you want to find a job, you said you've created, like, you've done, like, lots of job applications. Nothing came of it. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I mean, well, part of the problem is that I'm not um, doing it properly. Like I want to get into radio. I'd love to host a radio show. I guess that's why we're talking right now, because I get to pretend I'm on the radio. And so I'm applying for all these radio jobs that I have very little chance of getting because, I mean, it's hard to get a radio job, and also most people who get into radio, they start when they're a teenager. They go to college for it. They work their way up for 20 years, and so it's unlikely that me as a grown up can break into the thing. So I'm sort of throwing these job applications out almost like lottery tickets. And then even the ones I do apply for, because ones in big cities like Toronto and LA, I'm sure they already have people in mind, celebrities to host their radio shows. And so the job applications that are available are in like these little towns like Peace River, Alberta, or Yorkton, Saskatchewan, or all these little places where would I even want to pack up and go there and work for 20 grand a year for 5 years? Like, you got to think about what do you want to do with your time in this world. And so I spend a lot of time applying to these, and then maybe I'll get like one call out of thousands. Like I got an email a couple weeks ago from a radio station in Sudbury that needed somebody to write their news and host some shows, and I didn't wind up getting it. I'm sure they hired some young kid who actually lives in Sudbury rather than, this guy that maybe doesn't even, I've never been to Sudbury. Well, I was there once in high school. So I mean, I guess that's another way of spending time, but knowing that, none of this is going to lead to something. Like if I really wanted a day job, like an actual job, I should go and apply at ad agencies, doing copywriting, which is what I've already, that's been my career. So that would be realistic, but I'm afraid if I go to a job like that, now I'm spending 8 hours a day, making $300 or $400 a day, writing my ads. And it's not my life's mission. I wouldn't get up going, oh my God, yes, I get to spend 8 hours writing commercials. Like I want to be helping people like this. I want to be hosting a show. I want to be making videos. So it's kind of I mean, I guess most normal people get a job and they work 8 hours and then they come home and they work on their side passion or something in the evenings. But I've been really trying to avoid doing that. So the job applications I'm sending aren't realistic, and I don't even know if there is a job that out there that is what I'd want to do. Like I want to create my own thing. I want to be Oprah. I want to be like you teaching courses, or well, not even teaching. I don't know what. I mean, if
No,
in my
I don't teach courses.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I guess I went to that one seminar or something. You did a library once, like you sort of
Oh yeah, I
yeah.
was yeah, I do give free information away, but okay. So I get where you're going with this. And I think anybody can follow their life's path. Again, if they put the necessary connections, i.e., sending people, understanding that your website is your own social media site, to getting people to contribute to your own social media site. Three, don't say buy my junk. Create advertisers where you can connect and send them leads according to your focus, and we'll get into that. Four, keep your own email lists and do not allow other people to um, be the middleman between your email list or your advertiser. Really critical. So, so job applications, if you actually wanted to find a job, the best way of finding a job is, again, almost feet on the street, going, talking to people and asking for referrals. This online stuff, because it's so easy just to, you know, bang things out. Now, we also talked about having your own radio show. And I know that you did get a reply by a radio show saying, it costs $3,000 to $5,000 per show if you want to host it in a popular radio station.
Yeah.
That's where you then, again, same idea, is you grab your own advertiser, i.e., corporate sponsor, that would pay for that information, pay for that show under the direction of what would also benefit them. So you would have to come to a common decision on what is the show going to be about and how will it benefit your sponsor to help your listeners. So it's, again, you giving the information and your sponsor being the funnel of actually giving that person what they need. And then I'll give you an example. Let's just even talk about hypnotherapy. Okay.
Okay.
You know, your show might be on, NLP, neuro linguistic programming, or how to, influence somebody, or maybe how to stop smoking, or anything it happens to be about, the mind. And then, if somebody has a stress point, then contact this corporation who is your sponsor for help. That's good, because you can't do two things. You can't promote and you can't do. And that's where people, break down, because there's a lot of effort in promoting and there's a lot of effort in doing. The hypnotherapist company wants to do all day long, and they don't want to spend their time promoting, because that's another full-time job. So they would pay for somebody like you to actually do that promotion, because they would have to hire somebody anyway, and they probably couldn't find somebody like you with your passion and your desire to make this work. So that's how sponsors, corporate sponsors, angel sponsors, I call them, work. And actually, you've got on your website platform where people can look at getting angel sponsors for their business. And we also have it where there's 500 companies that do this sponsorship between $10,000 to $100,000 annually. But that's another conversation. Let's go back to our original focus, which is things you do online that don't make money. And let's talk for a minute about clothing apps.
Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of those now, like Poshmark. What else is on my phone here? Where basically it's people selling used clothing, like maybe clothing they've owned, or a lot of people treat it like a business now. They'll go to thrift stores and yeah, so Poshmark's not available in Canada yet. So Depop, that's an app I have. I just need to refresh it. But yeah, you make a little page, and yeah, you post a picture of your shirt or your sweater, your shoes or whatever, and hopefully sell it. I guess I was mentioning maybe in on the other day when we talked, like, I found a pair of Converse shoes on the street, and I thought, oh, these are like nice shoes. So I posted them. I think maybe selling them for $15, and somebody wanted to buy them, but the shipping would have been like $30 or something. So like even to ship shoes, it's too much. So I felt bad because some girl actually bought them, and then I had to cancel it and email the company and say, listen, I didn't realize because I'd never used it. I didn't think anybody was actually going to click to buy this stuff. Um, and so I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a way. It's interesting. Like now that I've sold my condo and I'm a digital nomad, and I guess I think bigger. Like when I was in my apartment, I thought, sure, I'll sit there surrounded by my stuff, and if somebody wants to buy something for $10, that's exciting. I'll sell it. But it's a way that I don't know. It seems like it's not worth the time. And
Because that's what
obviously,
you
it's
tried to do. You tried to sell your stuff from your condo and you're selling it. Talk about that.
yeah. So when I was selling a condo, I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna not move to another place. I'm gonna be a digital nomad, so I'll try to get rid of almost everything. So I did sell my furniture, my futon and my dining room table, and that was hard. I had a friend with a car that we were able to disassemble stuff and drive it. So I made like maybe $500 for my table and chairs, so that wasn't bad. And I sold my electric guitar for like $875. But a lot of stuff was very small stuff. Like I sold a jar of Epsom salts for $5. I sold a Crazy Rich Asians book I got from a movie premiere for like maybe it was $5. But a plastic tarp that somebody gave me for my locker, and then they moved. I sold that for $1. So rather than just throwing things out or donating them, I posted things. I thought, oh, that's productive. But yeah, the time that it takes to post something and then respond to people and then meet up with them for $1 isn't really worth it. And I had a bunch of umbrellas that I just find on the street and stuff, and those actually turned out to be popular. Like a woman came all the way from Scarborough. She took a subway and a bus and a streetcar to come buy my umbrella for $5. I'm like, wow, but it's bizarre. It was interesting to me, like, why do people spend so much time I mean, can't you go buy an umbrella in a store around the corner for $10? Like, um, and then I've been having some problems because when I was selling, or my real estate agent was helping me move stuff to a storage locker, and I was off interviewing people at an event one day, and then some of the stuff she lost. I don't know how, but I lost my popcorn popper and I lost the glass jar for my blender, not the base, but she just lost the glass. And because I had ads up for this, and then people keep messaging me, and I've asked her like, where did that stuff go? She's like, I don't know. So somehow she must have thrown it out by accident. But I still feel like one day it's going to turn up. So I still have the ads up. So every day I get a few messages from people saying, hey, is the blender available? Can I come get it? What about those black flower pots? And I think I think maybe we just threw those out because I was like, once you're moving, you're like, am I really going to carry around flower pots? And once you don't have a home, it's very hard to sell stuff. Like once stuff was in a storage locker or in somebody's basement, somebody was storing stuff for me for a while. I was like, I can't spend an hour taking a streetcar over there to try to meet someone at a certain time to try to sell a flower pot for $1. So it only really works if you're at a home and you're happy to sit there and you're happy to negotiate. But now I realize if I was going to do it again, what I should have done, either just get an apartment and move everything to it and sort of be surrounded by my stuff and have a base, or just decide, you know what, anything that doesn't have sentimental value or whatever, I'm just going to give away now rather than spending 4 months. Because actually what I just did again today, I had some stuff in storage at a woman's closet, and she's like, you're not spending enough time with me, so I want this out. So I had to go fill up a car with that stuff, and now I'm gonna have to take it to another friend's house. And so I've spent months driving. And one of this things I found is like a bag of old electronic cords that somebody said he would buy for $5, but he said don't even bother coming, because I'm in the suburbs, it's too far. And then I've got a little bag of old medications and like just stuff that probably I should just throw out. But
Yeah,
I'm
throw out
thinking,
your
oh,
medications.
what's that? Yeah.
Throw out your medications.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we're going to wrap this conversation up and start a new one. I need to take a 10-minute break. I'll call you right back, okay?
Okay, bye.
Okay.